Welcome, Dr. Sharma, to another session on brain health.
Good to be with you, Dr. Vasconcelos.
Doc, today is February the 23rd, 2021. It's almost 1 year now that most of our meetings have been virtual, and every part of the world we're practicing social distancing. My question to you today is, can social distancing affect people negatively?
Yes, the answer to that is yes. Today actually is February 23rd, and it's Republic Day in Guyana, where I am. And we're supposed to have a wonderful celebration of people out there and celebrating what we call Mastermani with colors and floats, and it's not happening. It's like a Sunday, it's you can't believe today is Tuesday. It's all quiet. Everything is virtual. It's a very strange world we live in now in Dr. Vasconcelos. Since the COVID crisis, the world has gone into social distancing in terms of physical contacts. But it's a kind of an unusual situation where people are still trying their best to be together. I remember during the Christmas celebrations here in Guyana, the malls were pretty full of people. There was no great spike of COVID afterwards. So I'm a great believer in getting our bodies to be stronger naturally, by natural immunity. But that requires some degree of contact. There is value to social distances medically, so there is no question that that's been protective in keeping the number of COVID cases down. For example, influenza cases have also gone down tremendously because of the measures, and that's involved social distancing and the mask. On a personal note, I believe the mask to me is more important. The distance that people have to keep from each other is important too. But do we need to keep people away from each other in terms of physical presence? And I think that's the big issue that I personally feel that's not really needed. And I see we've seen some negative consequences of people becoming isolated. I just saw a case where a man was very depressed because he stopped his business. He had a lot of fear of COVID, and COVID has induced a new type of condition, what we call the COVID panic syndrome or COVID fear syndrome, severe anxiety related to catching the COVID infection. So people are just staying away and doing their business and doing the work as they used to because of this fear of contracting COVID. So it's also led us, consequences for children where they turn into using more of the cell phones. There's less visual supervision of them. The parents sometimes get caught up with their own cell phone use. So this whole cell phone thing has become a big problem with adverse effects of too much blue light from the phones and so on, and the TV, and it's causing problems in people's brains. It's not healthy. It's not a natural thing to be isolated from each other. And I want to take this to a different level also, Doc, in terms of saying that socially people also need to be able to connect, to be able to form love relationships. People are going to do that through, say, social medias, and it's not absolutely really the right thing because you're not really seeing somebody. Look, when you make contact, we talk about young people or older people too who can form love relationships. It's very important for the human race that we part of humanity is to be able to procreate and move forward. And if we're looking at relationships, they're built around chemistry, and there's a aura that people have. There's the smell that people exude through what we call the pheromones, and these are things that can happen if you're going to isolate people from each other. And you've seen consequences as a result. You know, you're not able to move into the natural atmosphere and feel the get that feel of the atmosphere, the oxygen, the nature around us is being deprived. Our botanical garden, which is very beautiful, is being shut down since the COVID crisis. And that's a lovely spot for people to go on picnics. Yeah, they opened the national park and people are coming out, you know. So the human nature is to be able to come out and be in the sunshine. Being socially isolated leads to vitamin D deficiency, and people have described the consequences of both. So, Doc, the problem of social lack of connection is tremendous. As I said, I also want to touch on another issue of social cohesion, which is cultural cohesion. There are people who keep themselves away from other people because they're not of the same religion, the same race, the same ethnicity, or the same culture, and that's not right. We also see in the lockdown of countries. This is one world. Whatever people think, you know that as a spiritual person. We are one people. We fall under one God. So why are we locking ourselves up by boundaries and borders? And people are locking up their countries. It's absolutely ghastly. It is not right. Goes against natural process. And well, at the end of the day, we hope that with this vaccine, which came through great research, and we give credit to those, and hopefully our supreme being stops this nonsense so that we can get back to a better way of life among our people, for our children, for people as a whole, for people who want to form relationships, for us to also understand that this is not healthy. It's not healthy in any form, through the COVID virus or through people who are not connected because of social differences.
Oh, no question. Relationships are important. We need to be fruitful and multiply. But a question I have for you is, what can be done to achieve social cohesion in a social distancing world?
We got to recognize, Doc, that this is a danger, that there's a future that is being imposed on us. I don't like to say the word imposed, but I really have to believe that it is a future that certain persons would like to see happen. The futuristic world of people living in space stations, wearing space suits, wearing helmets, and breathing in oxygen is on us. It's already happening. It's going to be only a matter of time where we start to wear masks with filters and oxygen tubes and suits, and we're going to go into that whole futuristic state. It is us for us to now recognize this as a new order of life. And do we want that? Do we want to leave our nature, our mother nature, and go to this sterile world? There are some people who are already in a sterile world, a mindset. They're sterilizing everything around them. They walk with their spray cans and spray you whether you like it or not. I see people come into my office and they're spraying all over the place. And we spraying for them in a hospital. We be sprayed all the time. So it's not right. I don't think it's right. I don't like that kind of life. I don't think it's necessary. Yet, remember, if it's imposed on us as something that is healthy, that is the way to protect you from death, people are going to buy into it. People are forgetting that we do have the power for immune protection. So I feel social cohesion is the way we got to advocate for. It's kind of like a movement. It's like the people who are for nature or for protecting nature, who are advocated against the destruction of our planet through. We gotta be able to advocate, if we believe that this is true, that we should have more social cohesion, that people should be united across all boundaries, across all races, across all continents, across all countries. This process of locking borders and locking up people and you know doing things in the name of health is unhealthy. That's my take.
Well, Doc, thank you very much. It is so important, education. And we thank you for always sharing your knowledge, educating people, educating students, educating those who will, they are the future. And so thank you for your commitment. Thank you for sharing these thoughts on brain health. And any final thoughts?
Well, I think it's all coming down to what our brains will be healthy, and how well can we be. And we are at our healthiest when we follow in the process of the natural laws and in working with nature. Whilst we gotta respect and value scientific approaches, we should temper that also with common sense and use our natural ability to protect ourselves. The human body is a tremendous powerhouse. It's got enormous energy and reserves of power within us. We're not doing that. We're making ourselves physically weaker. We're going to make our immune systems weaker. We gotta work towards getting together, not isolating from each other. And this is across cultures, across boundaries, moving to be really a united world. So that's my hope for us on this very great day in Guyana where we celebrate our Republic Day in a very strange way of wearing masks and not being able to go out there and have the joy and fun. You see that in church, Doc. People can't be in church. They're slowly reopening, so there is hope.
Doc, there's definitely hope. Happy Republic Day to you and to everyone in Guyana. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.